Hey guys, today I want to make an interview to ask my older sister family questions about relationships.
At work.
Yes, we met at work.
Can you tell us more specific
We
detail?
were working in the same group at Apple, and so the first day I came, I saw her.
He took my seat. It was a open space office, but so he sat next to me and then we start talking.
Yes.
Next question, what was your first impression of each other?
My first impression of him was how dare that person was sitting on my seat. He's new, and he was dressing like a dramatic what is that, like a suit in the office, and I got to talk to the person because he seems a bit odd.
My first impression was that she's very nice.
Is what makes you happiness in your married life?
I think we really get along with each other. You always understand me, you support me, even though you're mad at me, but then maybe after a few minutes you'll just apologize to me, always trying to understand me.
Yeah. I think I'm happiest
Because I cook for you.
But the food is very good, yeah. But I think I'm happiest because, yeah, you're supportive. Yeah, I like you.
Next question is, how did you decide to get married?
We decided to get married because of a legal and visa reason, because I applied H-1B for 2 years, but I got rejected, and we were dating at that time, and so you were like, oh, you need to develop your career. You can't stay in this company that you don't like. It was mainly because of that, right? Like a push.
Yeah, also because I love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't expect you to, you proposed to me during that time. I wasn't expected at all.
I was ready.
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm ready. I was ready.
All right. Okay. Well, I think, with the kids, everything's a little bit busier. So that's probably the biggest change. Yeah, so I think having kids is probably the biggest change.
Since we got married.
Yeah, since we got married.
I think the first few years since we got married, the biggest change for me is I start to really think, like, make every decision based on two of us, right? Like, not just me. So it's based on a family unit, and then of course after we have the kids, so just a bit more house chores, arrangements, and we can't really go out just ourselves, right? We don't have a date night like as many as before
Yeah.
because of kids.
Yeah.
But we always, you try to make up things for me, right?
Yeah.
Like we watch movies ourselves
Yeah.
after the kids fall asleep.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest change.
Yep. I think that's the biggest change.
Yeah.
Next question is, how do you figure out the day-to-day disagreement?
How did I figure out a way to deal with disagreement? We don't have a good way usually. We'll just present the points, each of us, because he's super smart. It's very hard to fight over. Sometimes I feel like I'm constantly being pushed over by you, because you always have a good, like, arguments, points. Most of the time I trust you, but I think there's probably 1 or 2 times that I feel like, oh no, I think I'm right, and I have to convince you, and then I talk to you and you listen. Yeah, I think we're still learning, right? Find a better way.
Yeah, still learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can easily get, like, offended by a disagreement, but then we try to listen to each other, right? We
Yeah.
got better right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I listen to you a lot.
Yeah, you do, but I mean I got better.
Next question is, what are some values or interests that you find particularly important in your marriage?
Values.
Or
Yeah, I think, just, helping each other, I think is a big value.
I think
Right.
well, I think we share a lot of things like values in common. Like career-wise, both of us wanted to work harder. We believe work harder, play harder, right? And then we're also family-oriented, right? Families comes first. We respect our parents. We take care of the siblings, like you, right? And the kids, we help
Yeah.
out, right? And we're trying to be nice and help other people, right?
Yeah.
We share a lot of things in common.
Yeah. And then you're very interested in going on vacation, so I'd be interested also.
Yeah,
Plans some good vacations.
yeah. You trying to learn new things, and I also trying to learn new things, right?
Yeah.
Like things that you like, but I don't. Right? Yeah.
The next question, how do you support each other to face difficulties and challenges?
I think you usually do a better job than me. You always say a lot of good things and positive things and help me and make me feel better. It's sometimes hard to get you talk, but I always just sit next to you, trying to talk to you. Yeah, and talk some jokes.
Yeah.
And cook for you.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's right.
You take me to a good restaurant, right?
Yeah.
Cheer me up. That's what you did.
Yeah.
How do you maintain your passion for each other?
I want to hear you first. How do you maintain your passion?
How do I maintain my passion? I think, I don't know. It's just easy.
Easy. Easy, like. Okay, so I'm super attractive, charming.
Exactly.
Okay.
See, it makes it easy.
For me, I just always think you're very smart, very intelligent, and you can always help me, like whenever we are family run into any issues and questions, or like difficulties, like Hannah, right? Particularly when she need all this sort of like therapy, you're always there and be able to find out the best solution for us. I mean, I just feel like you're a Wikipedia to me. Like that made me. I think that's how I keep passion, and of course I just love you. I don't need to keep passion. I think that's something comes from natural, right? Like from your heart.
Do you believe communication is matter in your relationship?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
I believe it.
Yeah.
But you don't like communicate it to me when you're mad or when you don't want to talk. But
Yeah, it's true.
But then you talk to me afterwards.
Yeah.
We always you always say, let's have a chat, let's have a talk,
Yeah.
right? So it's very, very important. You have to have an open, honest, and transparent communication. At least it's
Yeah.
very important for me. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The next question is that, was there a particular difficult time that you had in your relationship, and how did you overcome it?
We've been through some difficult times.
Yep.
Yeah. Like when we bought this house, that was pretty difficult.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was pretty difficult. Yeah.
Like financially.
Not just financially, but also just I wasn't very happy about it.
Like you wasn't ready, but it was turns out one of the smartest decisions ever. Right.
Yeah, it was a good decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's just over time, you know, continue to communicate and to talk to each other.
Because we wanted to make it work, and so we'll trying to think on other people's shoes, understand other people, be willing to compromise. That's important, right?
Yeah.
The next question is that how do you balance your personal space and your identity as a couple?
Personal space. I don't think I have a personal space anymore.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, my life is occupied now by kids,
Yeah,
right?
kids a lot.
Right? Fan. I mean, I can't keep a personal space, but occasionally I'll just go out for lunch with my friends. But it's not often. It's probably once a while.
Yeah. It does get tricky to balance with your kids sometimes.
Okay. Next question is that what do you think is the most challenging thing of marriage?
Most challenging thing?
Yeah.
I think, you know, whenever you have more than one person, right? So if you're living on your own, then you can make your own decisions. You can decide, I want to do this or I don't want to do this. And then, you know, obviously when you're a kid, then you have some restrictions placed on you by your parents. But then when you're single, you basically have a choice of what you want to do, what you don't want to do, how you want to do things. But then when you're a couple, then you have to decide together, you know, is this what we want or is this not what we want? And sometimes, you know, you have disagreement, right? It's like, you know, and I think the other thing that's challenging is that when you're single, you sort of like, you're in control of your own emotions, right? I mean, you don't necessarily, sometimes, you know, maybe you feel very sad or maybe you drank too much or something, you know, it's not complete control, but you have more control of your emotions. And then when you have a family, then a lot of times your emotions are dependent on, you know, how everybody else is feeling, right? So if your wife doesn't feel good, then you don't feel good.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think the most challenging part is trying to, I think, yeah, like if the other person, your partner, is willing to compromise, right?
Yeah.
Because you're making decision as a group,
Yes.
not as an individual person.
Yes.
Yeah. So you have to think about it and balance and make trade-offs
Yeah.
in certain ways.
The last question is that what advice would you give to couples who are planning to get married?
I think my advice is, if they're planning to get married, I assume in American, most of them, they already live it together, right? Probably like for years, so they probably get to know each other quite well. Marriage, you have to make that decision when you're truly matured.
Yeah. My advice is to, you know, to take the good with the bad with the good, right? You know, and nobody is perfect, right? And there's always, you know, good things about people and bad things about people. But if you try to accept the other person for whom they are, and you try to, you know, focus on the good parts, then I think it's more likely to be happy.
You accept it as the package, the whole package.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.